Good morning and welcome to the Parents and Caregivers as Partners virtual conference. I am going to be your presenter for this session. My name is Roxanne Malcolm, and I am an education coordinator for myBlueprint. My topic today is focusing on engaging family with student-driven portfolios and career exploration using myBlueprint. One of the reasons why I'm passionate about this topic is because we know it's very important for family, not just parents, but the entire family, caregivers, guardians, to be involved in the education of students. Guardians, families play an integral role in students' learning, and I am going to show you exactly how myBlueprint supports parents, supports caregivers, supports the entire family in being supportive to students as they navigate through school, whether it's at the elementary level, secondary level, and even at the post-secondary level. So a few housekeeping matters. The session will last for approximately 1 hour. Please unmute yourselves and ask questions if you prefer. You may also type your questions in the chat. I'll respond to your questions throughout. At the same time, you may decide to leave your questions for the end of the session. That's perfectly fine as well. I have set time aside to answer any questions and listen to your comments at the end as well. Please participate. I love hearing from you. And if you are interested in any of the resources that I've mentioned throughout the session, you're able to locate those resources at myblueprint.ca/support. Our resources are very comprehensive. We have a multiplicity of resources to support parents and caregivers, and the resources are free. So it's free access to download the resources as needed. So I'm just going to go ahead and ask, just to get the lay of the land, how familiar are you with Education Planner, or in general, how familiar are you with myBlueprint? You may go ahead and just type your response in the chat. Have you heard of myBlueprint before? And if you have, do you have any experience with myBlueprint, either with Education Planner, the platform I'm going through this morning, or with our elementary level platform, All About Me? You may go ahead and type your response in the chat. And our agenda, I'm starting off with brief introductions, then I am going to go through and speak a little bit about our history. Who are we and why are we so passionate about education? And then I'll go into that live demo and point out some of the ways that you can utilize your family account to support your student or students as they go through their learning. And then I'll wrap that up again with showing you some of those useful resources, as well as close off with a Q&A and any next steps that you need. Thank you so much for the responses. You're familiar with All About Me and Education Planner. Wonderful. And you'd love to learn more about myBlueprint. Awesome. This is the perfect session for you. So I'm Roxanne, your presenter. I'm an education coordinator here, and I have a background in education that spans a number of years. I started off immediately after high school, going into Teachers College, where I majored in English and reading, as well as literature. So I'm a trained English, literature, and reading teacher. So my focus in Teachers College allowed me to interact with students at the primary level all the way up to secondary. I then went on to university while I was working and did studies in tourism management and English. And that allowed me to have access to really supporting learners at the tertiary and post-tertiary levels in the tourism sector. And I believe that a number of the strategies that I have employed in my teaching comes from the fact that I was very well supported as a learner when I was growing up. And so in the classroom, I'm the teacher, but I'm also trying to be a parent, a family member, a caregiver to my students as well, and not just that facilitator of learning. So who are we? Why is myBlueprint so focused on learning? Well, we began our foray in education 16 years ago when our co-founder and CEO, Gil Silberstein, was doing a research project at his university. And he wanted to fill a gap in education. He wanted to see where it is that learners needed the most support and where they weren't being supported as optimally as they should. So in his research, he had the opportunity to interview a number of stakeholders across Canada. And from there, he saw that students needed support in pathways planning. How is it that they were going to navigate from secondary or high school into post-secondary life, whether they were heading off to volunteering, whether they were going to do apprenticeship, going to college, going to university, or going into a very focused career. They needed support to transition into those steps. What he also thought of, though, was that they needed support not just at the secondary or high school level. Students needed to be supported from as early as kindergarten all the way up. And it was from that deep analysis and foresight that he developed myBlueprint and our two platforms, All About Me, which supports our learners from K to 6, and Education Planner, which supports our learners from grades 7 to 12 and beyond. Because we know that even after leaving high school, secondary school, that our students still need to be supported in their learning. And so students still have access to their accounts even after they've left high school. We have grown throughout the years, these 16 years, to be supporting users across the length and breadth of Canada. We are in over 360 plus school boards with over 1,000,001 users in 8,000 schools. We're very proud to be Canadian. We are extremely proud as well to support our users in English and French, and also to be compatible with a number of assistive technologies. As parents, as caregivers, we know that our children have very distinct learning needs. They learn in various ways and they have different interests and motivations. So we ensure that our platform is compatible with the very important assistive technologies that your students need to thrive. Now, why is the involvement of parents or caregivers important? Well, Jane D. Hull said it well. She said, at the end of the day, the most overwhelming key to a child's success is a positive involvement of parents. So just hitting on the words positive and the involvement. She believes that the major success that students need is to be supported by their parents and caregivers. And in them having that support in every area of their lives, then a child is ultimately on the right path to achieving success. Particularly in education, we know that when schools and families work together to support learning, children tend to do better in school. And I can tell you that I'm a product of that. I had parents who were very focused on my learning, very encouraging. I'm originally from a small island, Jamaica, and education is extremely important to us. Transitioning and moving to Canada, it's just the same. Even when it is that I say I'm a grown person, my parents are still focused on knowing, what are you doing to stay abreast of what's going on? So even as an adult, they consider education to be essential and they are asking me questions about what are you doing? So that support has been integral. And I know that you as a parent yourself can maybe look back when you were a child and say, yes, having that support was really helpful to me. So as children go through school, they tend to do better. They are able to stay in school longer and they enjoy school more. So we know parents are necessary, caregivers are necessary in really motivating students, providing that platform for them to go home, to share what their challenges are, to share what their growths have been, their achievements have been at school, and to know that if there is support needed at home to further boost learning, that as a parent or a caregiver, you're there and able to provide that support. So our platform, education planner, which is the platform I'm going through today, is the platform that supports our learners from grade 7 through 12 and beyond. It allows your children to reflect on their learning, showcase their growth, and share their achievements. And we are so dedicated to that process that we don't just allow the platform to support the student and their counselors or their teachers, but for you, their family, you, their parents and caregivers to be involved as well. So in my demo, I'm going to be walking you through how it is as a parent or a caregiver that you can gain access to a myBlueprint account, and as well how it is that you'll be able to stay abreast of what your students are doing at school. How is it that you can engage with them? And importantly too, how is it that you can engage with their teachers and their counselors? I am then also going to walk you through a demo student account to see also what your child sees on their end. When you are involved with them from your parent account, what do they see in their accounts? And I'll just walk you through some of those resources as well that you'll find useful in supporting your students in the learning process. So heading over to my demo, signing up for myBlueprint is very simple. So it's simply by going to myblueprint.ca and pressing enter. Once you do that, you're allowed to sign up or to log in if you already have your account created. The sign up process, you'd click sign up. And then you'd be asked for an activation key. Now, the activation key is one of two ways that you can gain access to this. You can be provided this activation key for the school board or the district or division that your child is in, and they provide you that key and you just enter that here for the particular schools or school. Then you'd click create account. In order to override being asked for an activation key, so let's say you aren't going to be able to quickly contact the school, or you don't have the time to contact or support center for the key, you're able to go directly. So I'm going to use TDSB as my example. You're able to go directly to the landing page of the school board. In our case, it's TDSB. And you will not be required to have an activation key. So going directly to the board's landing page, TDSB, you don't need to have that activation key for the specific school that your child is attending. You click sign up. You just go and select the school from the drop-down menu. Now, if your child is at a elementary school within the TDSB school board, you'd select elementary. If it is a high school or secondary school, you'd scroll down the list and select the school. So let me go back to that. myblueprint.ca/TDSB for Toronto District School Board. Enter. Click sign up and select the school. As an example, I'm just going to choose Albert Campbell Collegiate here. You'd go ahead and select that and click create account. Once you select create account, you're taken to the page where you choose family or advisor. And we've made it wide because we know that family is extensive and you may be an advisor, someone who's working with the child in extra lessons and providing support to the student as well. So we've also allowed the option for that to happen. By clicking family and advisor, you'd select the grade level of your child here and then click continue. Thereafter, you'd be asked for personal information. And this is just basic, your first name, last name, your role. If you are a parent, if you're a guardian, you're able to select grandparent, sibling, and I believe siblings are also important. I have a older brother and he has also been integral in motivating me in my education throughout the years. So I know as well that siblings are also great support. Once that's done, clicking continue, then they'll be asked to enter an email and a password that is unique to what you'd like it to be. So once you have created your account, you have been able to go in and have access to your account thereafter. Now I'm going to open a demo parent account. Creating your account, however, does not automatically give you access to your students' data. And at the elementary level, I'm going to point this out. If you are a parent who created an account at the elementary level, you will not be automatically linked to your child's account. We ensure that students' privacy is and security is at the core of everything that we do. So we want it to be that students are protected in every angle. So at the elementary level, the teacher or counselor of the child will be the one who sends that invite for you to have access to your child's account. So you're not able to come and enter a email address for your child at the elementary level and your account is linked. That does not take place. If your student, however, is a child who is at the high school or secondary school level, you're able to go in and enter an email address and then click add student. Again, you have asked to be linked to the student's account, but you don't again have access to your student's account. At that point, your student receives a notification in their account. They are able to say, okay, yes, this is my parent. Yes, this is my caregiver. This is my sibling or my grandparent, and they will accept the link. Okay, so first, you've created your account. Great first step. Once you've created your account, in order to have that link to oversee what's taking place, you'll have to enter your child's email here, click add student, and then your child will have the option to decide if they're going to accept your link request or deny your link request. And again, we ensure that that is up to the student because we want it to be sure that the person who has asked to be linked, the student knows who that person is, and the student believes that this person is a trusted person, because we don't want someone to just have access to the student's data. So the student has the final authority in deciding if they'd like you to be linked to their account or not. Now, let's go in with the view that you have been accepted and all your children are now showing on your account. So you're a parent or a caregiver for a number of students in the Toronto District School Board, and they have been working in their accounts. Once you have been accepted, you're able to get an overview of all the work that your child has been doing on their account. And you get to see that overview in your feed. So you log into your account. Once you log in, you're on that dashboard area here where it says student feed. You begin to see an overview and it will tell you whose overview you're seeing. You're seeing the overview of all the students here. If you particularly only wanted to see an overview of what Roxanne was doing, you would click on Roxanne's overview. If you wanted to see, for example, what Ashley was doing alone, you just click on Ashley and that would generate as well. And you have the option to see what your child has been doing for 7 days, specifically for a month or for a school year. So again, selecting a specific student gives you the advantage to just zero in and focus on that student. You may be a family that has a number of children, either you're a parent or a caregiver, you're able to monitor all of your students from your account right here. There's no limit to the number of students that you can have linked to your account. As I said, it's just for the student to approve your link request. So going back to Roxanne, the demo student here, again, you can see the entire school year or for a month or for 7 days. And you also have the option to focus on what specifically you want to see. So if you only wanted to see what she was doing in relation to goal setting, let's say you were having a discussion with your student at home or whether you are distance away, you've spoken to them and they say that I want to learn more about SMART goal setting, or I set a goal to be more active, or to do more studying, whatever that is, and your student has gone in and set that goal and you'd like to see what the tasks are that they've put in for that goal, and you wanted to only see that, you're able to click goal. It will only then show information related to goal setting. If you only wanted to see information related to those who am I surveys, you're able to click on who am I, and you're also only going to see information related to who am I surveys for your student. Again, if it is in relation to high school planning, they're doing course selection, you want to see what's going on there, you can click high school. And if it is something related to digital portfolio documentation, they've been learning, they have been documenting their learning in their portfolios, you can do that as well. You can see those that have comments that have been given by their teacher, and you're able to view those. So the options are extensive in terms of how many of your students you can add to your family account, the time frame that you can view the work that they're doing, and additionally, the specific sections that their student has been doing in their account over time. What's also wonderful, again, is the opportunity for you to see what activities the student has done that has received comments from their various teachers and counselors. And that's where we're talking about that engagement. You're not just monitoring what your child is doing, but you're able to participate by being interactive and giving feedback as well. So from your family account, from the comforts of wherever you are, just by logging into your family account, you're quickly able to see what your child has added. We see Roxanne did some work in a mental wellness portfolio, a very important topic here, mental wellness. And you wanted to add some feedback. You wanted to inspire your child. You're able to add the comment directly here. And you're able to add the comment either by typing it in, recording audio, doing a video, taking a photo, adding a file. So you wanted to say, hey, this is wonderful. Here's something that I found that I think you'd find extremely useful. And so you're able to provide that level of inspiration to your child, give really wonderful feedback, motivate them, and also help to develop their critical thinking. Because you could say, okay, your personality type is an architect. What does that mean? It says that you're introverted, but you are also very intuitive, and you could, really encourage your child, because introversion is not a bad thing, and say, what I like about you and your personality are, and you list out some of the wonderful things that you love about your child's personality. And I say that as a parent, as a caregiver, that's wonderful for you to say, these are the things that make you wonderful and that make you unique. You can do that here and just send that comment off, and your child sees that in their student's account. Again, you will be able to go through and see a number of other activities that your child has done. Here we see that your child has put something about healthy habits. We also see that they have commented and said what they've been doing while they've been working remotely. And they've done so by typing something, and they've put an audio here. You can go in and add a picture. They said that they were jogging around and doing jumping jacks. What if it was a whole family experience? You could go in and add a lovely picture of that time when you all were doing it together and say that day was a wonderful day, and really make the learning experience fun for your child as you go through. And here it is. I've put an example of what a feedback would look like coming from a parent. So she went in and says that she's going to be doing journaling. She set a goal for that. You as a parent had given your feedback a little earlier. You said you see the evidence of the growth. You've added a lovely picture to say, great, good job. I'm proud of you. Very awesome. And then what's wonderful is that the teacher has also commented. So the teacher has given feedback as well to your child. She has spoken about what's wonderful about your child doing journal writing, and the teacher has also responded to you. They say, I agree with you. Evidence of her growth is being displayed daily. She's dedicated to achieving her goals. So you are able to collaborate with your child, engage with your child, and you're also able to engage with their counselor or teacher. So you could just go right here and add your comments in. And as I said, you could type that in, you could do a video to really let the interaction with your child's teacher or counselor be very deep and something that creates a connection, because in order for you to support your child's learning, you want to have a relationship with their educator. They're spending a lot of time at school. They have various subject teachers. And if your child is doing great in a subject, you want to be sure that you're seeing what's good with the child. But also, if your child is not doing so great in a subject area, for example, I wasn't too great in math. So you could have the opportunity to really dialogue with the pair, with the counselor, with the teacher, and say, okay, what are the areas that I could help my child with, or the child that I'm taking care of? What could I do from my end? What would you like me to focus on when he or she is at home? And you're able to get that information. So really having that close interaction with the teacher or counselor is great, because you have more insight in what you can do at home. You don't have to wait until it's that parent teachers meeting for you to get involved and know what's happening. So from your parent account, you're able to do all of that just from your dashboard area. You're also able to view any messages. So if there were messages that were sent, you would be able to see that, what messages were sent to your student. And if the counselor or teacher had added family onto the messages, you'd be able to see what those messages are. So graduation may be coming up, course selection may be coming up. There is information being shared. Course selection is an extremely important process in TDSB. So you want to stay abreast of what's happening with course selection. So when counselors or teachers send those messages out, they add family or caregivers on the messages, you will get that notification. You'll see that notification here. You also see if the student had approved your request. Importantly, when you sent a request to be added as a parent or caregiver, but you also see notifications when messages come in. And there you'd see resources for graduation that the counselor had shared. You're able to click in and read the information there. So that's what your account would look like. Now, what's the other dynamic thing that you could do? The other dynamic thing that you could do is access your child's account. Now, you can just go ahead and type in the chat if you have any questions in relation to how it is you give your feedback. I'd be happy to answer. And if you have been using your family account, I'd love to know. So please go ahead and type in the chat. Have you created your myBlueprint family account, whether it's as a parent, a caregiver, or have you created one as an advisor to a student? If you have, please go ahead and let me know if it's a yes. If it's a no, also that's totally fine. I know at the end of this session, you'll be creating one. Oh, okay. Great one. So instead of creating the account, you've been going in and monitoring directly from their account. And that's good. It's still good that you're going in directly and monitoring what's going on. You're engaged. You are overseeing what's taking place. The only drawback of just doing it directly from the child's account is that when you want to give feedback and reflection, if you post as a feedback, it's going to log that feedback as your child's response. So instead of it showing you as the parent or the caregiver, it's going to put the child's name there. So for example, you were saying, great work, I'm proud of you, etc., etc. It will show the child's name as the person giving themselves that praise. So doing it where you're monitoring directly, it's wonderful because you're staying involved, but the next step to elevate it to the next level and to really drive home that support is also to have your family account. So when you're adding in your information and giving that feedback, your child sees it, their teachers and their counselors see it. And that also is a wonderful thing. Teachers or counselors love to see that parents are involved. As an educator, I loved seeing that. I loved seeing that. I love to be able to converse with my parents and my caregivers, give them feedback, get feedback from them. It was also very helpful to be in being able to go in to my class and knowing what was the level of support that my students needed on an individual level, because I always wanted to ensure that my students were supported as those unique persons that they are. All secondary teachers in the Toronto District School Board have access to creating their account. So not all of them are on myBlueprint, but the school board has done a wonderful job in giving all their teachers and all their students access to a myBlueprint account. So all that would be required is for the teachers to create their accounts and they're logged in. And once the teachers are logged in, they have access to the students because the board shares that information via the SIS. So I would want to say that more than 95% of teachers in TDSB would have had their myBlueprint accounts. So just as you were saying, going directly to your child's account or navigating from your child's account is great, but you're still able to do that directly from your child's account from your parent's account. Yes, great question. Yes, the teacher is able to share achievement information with you. Yes, they can. So they can send that through a message. And they can also send that in that feedback thread here, back and forth with you, just the same, whether by uploading a file, so they can put that file in and the student is not able to delete that. So if the teacher has put that in and it's shared, then you will have access to it as a parent. So the student can't say, well, I don't want my parent or my caregiver to see this. The student will not be able to remove any information that a counselor or teacher has posted as feedback. Now, as I said, you can monitor directly what's happening with your student from your account. And what's unique with the parent account or the caregiver account is that you can monitor as many of your children as you'd like to. So in going directly from a student's account, that's one of the other drawbacks. You would have to have all these different children open, their accounts open. That would just be a lot for you to do, to navigate, especially if you have students at the elementary level, then you have a few of your children or children who you care for at the high school level. Going into the individual accounts each time with your child, it can be a lot. So just having the access to have a quick overview of everything from one space works optimally for you, and you're able to give that feedback. If you wanted to go directly to the child's account, you're able to do that as well by just clicking on the child's name. Let me do it from here. And you're able to again see a breakdown of everything that's taking place. So you see the portfolios that she has created, interests. You're able to click down to view more. All the information is there. This is just a quick summary, so you have that overview. If you wanted to return to the dashboard, you just click on the X. It goes back to the dashboard. So let's go back, click on the overview, do a quick monitor, an overview assessment of what's taking place here. Look on those IPP tasks. This is one of the critical focuses as well of the school board in ensuring students are starting with those IPP tasks and starting pathways planning very early, so you're able to navigate and see what's going on with that survey completion, completing their high school plan, and so on. You're able to see that as an overview. And again, you're directly able to go to your child's account. So clicking here, clicking on the eye icon, it says view account, a new tab opens up, and this is you directly in your child's account. There you are. From here, it tells you view only. Of course, you're only viewing, it's not going to allow you to put any information in, because as I said, in you adding that information and data, it would be best for you to do it from your parent or caregiver account. But what you have access to do is to go in again, just as you were doing before, but you still have your account open to the left. So you're in, you're able to see what the student has done in those Who Am I surveys. You see all the work your student has done with those surveys. Going back on the dashboard, you're able to monitor everything that's going on with goal setting, going on with portfolios. So the documentation of learning, you can see from the parent account or caregiver account, but really going in depth now to see everything, you can just click to view your student's account and you're taken into all the work that they have been doing. So we see that they had done quite a bit of work with a few of their subject areas. Let's say you wanted to see what was going on with that post-secondary or transition portfolio. You're supporting your child in thinking of possible career options. You would be able to go in. We see that there's some feedback here on occupation. You can view that. Click directly there and see. So you see that her teacher says, great job in selecting your potential career. They have given their feedback. Your student has responded. So of course you'd be able to view that from the parent account. But again, you still have the option to view it from the account here. You're able to listen. You're also able to see what your child has responded and said to the teacher. So the opportunity to share and really collaborate is great. And you can do it directly from your account or come in and have a very in-depth look into your child's account from your parent's account. So all the class activities that your student would have been doing, you're able to see what's outstanding. So going in, you're able to see, okay, there are 2 activities here for English. Your child is doing great in English. You saw that from the Who Am I surveys that English or language arts is one of their top subjects. You may also want to see what's happening with guidance. There's an outstanding activity there for guidance, so you can monitor what's happening and be sure that your student is staying abreast with their work. Now, I had mentioned to you that your child has the authority to decide if they're going to accept your invite to be linked. And I'll just show you how your child will do that. Your teacher or counselor has the ability to also send you an invite to be linked to the child's account. So just the same as the All About Me level, at the education planner level, the teacher can also send you an invite to create an account. So again, that invite is only to create your account. It doesn't automatically just link. You'd first have to create your account once the teacher has invited you to do so. And then thereafter, the link to the child's account would be established. So let us say that your child is in their account. They're able to go into their account settings, go to My Links, and they see all the persons who are linked to their account. So they see that their father is linked to their account. They can go ahead and invite someone else. let me do this directly from my student account. It's going to not allow you to do it here because I'm impersonating the student. So let me go directly as if I were the student. So when I go directly as the student from my student account, I'm able to click add link. I want to add my brother. I go in, I keep it as family or counselor, add my brother's name, enter his email, and then click add link. If it's a teacher, let's say it's a teacher that's at another institution, I'm able to send that send link request. A counselor as well, I'm able to do that. So from here, I can go ahead, send a request to a counselor for them to be linked to my account. So the options are endless in terms of the leverage that your students have in seeking the support that they need. So they know that they want support as well. They can access the support by sending out invitations and say, could you please accept the link to be on my account to monitor what I'm doing. Importantly, the student also has the power to remove the link. We believe that this is important because for whatever reason, there may be things going on in the family dynamic, the caregiver dynamic, or if it's an advisor, but that student is no longer working with an advisor. Let's say they were doing classes with that tutor, and then that tutor, for example, moved to another province or moved out of the country. They're able to just quickly remove the link and add their new tutor to their account. So again, the options to secure their account would be available to the student from their account settings area. And then of course, they're also able to see notifications and so on. So that would be just a quick demo of the parent account and the student's account. So from your end, your parent account gives you that overview access. It allows you to add a number of students. It allows your students to see that you have created that request and they can accept the request. Once they do that, you'll see yourself listed as linked. The student can always go and remove that. Counselors and teachers are also able to send a link for and invite parents and caregivers to create their account. So I'd recommend don't wait for the teacher or the counselor to do that. Your child can go ahead and send that link to you immediately. So if you want them to invite you to be linked, I'd say just ask them to go into their student account and send that link request over to you, or you go ahead, myblueprint.ca/TDSB, create your account, add your student's email here. And this would be the email that they use for their myBlueprint account. Please note, it has to be the email that they use for their myBlueprint account. And then click add student. Once you do that, then the student will get the notification and then accept you. And you'll be able to see them listed here. Now, what are some of the resources that we provide to support your engagement? So you've created your account, you're in the account working with your child, really having that collaboration and dialogue with the teachers and the counselors. How does myBlueprint support you as a parent or a caregiver? So we have created a number of resources. We have videos, very short videos. Just by going to myblueprint.ca, you're able to go in, access those videos, clicking on Education Planner. There we see videos for family account. Let's say you wanted to just watch videos about the student account overall. So you wanted to know a little bit about what your student does in their account. Very short videos telling you what the student does. If you wanted to help them with course selection, you're able to watch those videos as well and just go through as needed. Another important thing that you're able to do is to access the help center. So you wanted to find information about how it is that parents set up their account or caregivers set up their account. You wanted to share that with another friend of yours and say, hey, I learned something wonderful today at that session, and I believe this will be valuable to you and your child. You can just go send them to the help center, or you go to the help center and forward a very short article telling them how they go about getting their account set up. And what's also great is that we provide a variety of resources for parents. So going into the resources area, I'd say use the filters because we do have quite a number of resources. It's automatically at Ontario, so already supportive to TDSB. Click view filters and select where it says families. So this will allow you to just have this filtered directly to your needs. So here we see information for parents, how to guide, a newsletter insert, information about the devices that your students use. Let's say that they're having an issue with using the iPad versus an Android, and you want to be able to quickly assist them in getting back into their account with those technological or technical problems. We provide some information for you to help them out. And then also support in remote learning. So there's a remote learning guide for families. So if your child is still working remotely, you can access a guide that walks you through a number of activities that you can do with your children at home. And all the way as well, we ensure that we provide you with those feedback prompts as well. So this is important. You're dialoguing with your student from your family account. Whether you're a parent or a caregiver, you want to be sure that the information that you're adding and the feedback that you're giving is inspiring the student and is also encouraging critical thinking. We don't just want you to always say, good job. Oh, great. I'm proud of you. We want you to also say the other things. I see that your writing has improved. So we did see that the parent, the father had said, hey, great job. I'm proud of you. But he had also commented on how it is that the focus towards achieving the goal was, he was very impressed with the focus. He was also impressed with the attitude that the students were showing, and also that her writing skill had improved. And the teacher agreed that yes, her writing skill has improved as well. So some of the support that you need in creating feedback, it has been given. So by clicking here, you have access to a document that helps you to start that conversation with your child. Do you think you need help, some help with? So you can offer support. You can type that in that feedback box again. You can also send that feedback by audio or by making a video. You can help them to reflect even more. So your child had reflected about doing that job as a reporter. Help them to reflect even more about it. Can you explain why you feel that this job would be ideal for you? What do you love about this job as a potential career option? You can give that constructive feedback. So the I am proud is still great, but you add more. But we're just telling you that you can start it off this way. And the growth mindset. I know you found this work challenging, but look at how you have, etc. So the feedback prompts, as I say, any other resources that you need are available by just going to myblueprint.ca. Clicking on support. So right on that main area, you click support, go to resources, click education planner, go to filters, select that your family. This will include parents and caregivers, and you have access to all these resources. Now, let us say also that you wanted to help your student in general, walking through those Who Am I surveys. You have access to every resource just the same. So if you wanted to help your child with Who Am I surveys and you're saying, I'm not the teacher or counselor, I don't have access to lesson plans. No, you also still have access, because we know that parents are great teachers too. Whether you're a trained teacher like I am as a parent, you are still a great teacher. You're structuring the lives of your children from early to when they move into adulthood. And even after that, you're still teaching your child. So you're able to access lesson plans and help your child to be prepared. So a lesson is going to be coming up with a teacher, and you want them to be ahead. You want them to get more information on how to study. You can go ahead and open this lesson plan and see what would be some great tips that you can use to help to support your children as a parent or as a caregiver. So access to all our resources is available simply by going to myblueprint.ca/support, or just going to myblueprint.ca and clicking on support. So going back to the presentation, I wanted to say why it is that documentation that your students are doing is important. So you saw that your child set that goal. Your child has been working in those Who Am I surveys, working on IPB tasks, doing a resume, writing a cover letter, but just doing it and leaving it in that area doesn't fully curate the work and document it. In our sample student, we saw that our student did a lot of work, but she also put them in portfolios according to the subject area, and that's important. What it allows the student to do is being able to have that space where they're able to track their growth. You're also able to see that. You're also able to see that documented process with that reflection taking place. So having them put the work in a portfolio is important. So I'd encourage you, when your students are working in their accounts, encourage them to create a portfolio and just put, it's almost like a virtual exercise book or a digital space for them to put their work in page by page, but it's not by a page. So going in, we call them boxes in myBlueprint. So having a portfolio, adding those boxes is wonderful because it allows the learning to be visible. You're able to give that feedback as well. You see the growth and you can encourage that critical thinking. So I'd say work with your students in curating those portfolios and saving their work specifically in the portfolio. Whether they save the work in the portfolio, the work is still going to be in their account, but I believe having it in the portfolio makes it more organized. You're able to track what the student is doing in a more seamless manner. And that level of interaction that you have with them, their teacher, and then their counselors can happen in a very comprehensive way because everything is contained in a space that you're able to access quickly and that your child can access quickly as well. So there are a number of different resources there on that support page that I'd gone to. I'd say accessing the portfolio poster. It walks you through how you can help your child in creating the portfolio. It's a very easy process, really. And there are sample portfolios as well, just to show you what the portfolios look like. And I'd say the other resources that I had shown you when you clicked on family, that getting started guide. So you have created your parent account. You want to see what the power of the account is. I did show you that, but you wanted to be more familiar. The Getting Started guide walks you through that. There's a family corner for that remote learning. And I definitely recommend accessing the family feedback prompts as well. Importantly, access all the resources. There's no limit to what you as a parent or a caregiver can access. So access all the resources. So in wrapping up, I just want to say it was a pleasure presenting and to just look back on what it is that we see when we go into a myBlueprint account. We know that it's a comprehensive platform that supports parents and caregivers' involvement in their child's learning. You see how it is that your students have access to their account, how it is that they are able to invite that parent and caregiver engagement. You see how they document their learning. And importantly, you see also how you can go ahead and create the account and how you can request to be linked to the account. So you have power as well. Once you make that request, your child will be the one to say, yes, I approve that link. And as I said, it's free. Once you are a parent in the Toronto District School Board, you have the power to create your myBlueprint account. So your next steps, I'd say if you haven't created your account as well, please do so. I say from your account, you can be the person who is giving that insight and feedback to the child without trying to do it from the child's account, because it will log that entry as a message or a response by the child. Explore your child's, explore the student view, Download your Getting Started guide. It walks you through being familiar with your account. And of course, ask to be linked to your child's account and stay engaged. Now, I did answer a few questions as I went through, but if there are any additional questions, please go ahead and type it in the chat and I'll be happy to respond. And I'll just continue to close out the session. So for the resources that I mentioned, the videos, the lesson plans, the guides, specific to you as a parent or a caregiver, or all our resources, you're able to access that either by going to myblueprint.ca and clicking support, or going to myblueprint.ca/support. And it takes you directly to the area where you can access the resources. We also love getting feedback. If you have any questions, please contact us, support@myblueprint.ca, or at our toll-free number 1-888-901-5505. And of course, you can also connect with us on our social media platforms. We're on Twitter, Facebook, and also we have a community space for educators that educators are involved with as well. So certainly connect with us on our social media, Instagram as well. We're there and we love to hear from you. So thank you again for your participation and your presence here. Much thanks to the Toronto District School Board for putting on this Parents and Caregivers as Partners virtual conference for 2021. I'm Roxanne Malcolm. It was an immense pleasure presenting, and I'll be happy to assist. Thank you for that question. I'll be happy to assist. So I'll go into the system and I'll be happy to assist with that process. Oh, please just go ahead and type the email that you were using to do that. So thank you again to the TDSB, and certainly thanks to the sponsors for this very wonderful virtual conference experience for 2021. Certainly believe that family and guardians play such an integral role in students' learning, and it's extremely important that we foster that timely engagement with our students by being linked to their account and monitoring what they're doing, providing them that feedback and reflection prompts in a variety of ways, audio, video, etc. We're able to do that. And thank you very much. It was a pleasure presenting. You're welcome. Okay, and thank you for the information. I have it here. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday and the rest of the conference.